What's up, guys? Jared here, Paintbrush Samurai. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about being uncomfortable and why it's important to be uncomfortable and how to make yourself uncomfortable each and every day. Alright, now before we get into it, let's talk about why it's important to be uncomfortable. Alright, the reason it's important to be comfortable or uncomfortable is because the things that are comforting are things that are familiar. Everything that is pleasing and warm is familiar, alright? And all that is change and things that are different and not understood are uncomfortable. So when it comes to yourself, if you're trying to improve upon yourself, if you're trying to be better, if you're trying to be a better person, if you're trying to think better, then you must think different. You must be different. You must act different. All of which is uncomfortable. It is uncomfortable to be different. It is uncomfortable to go against popular thinking. In fact, that's why popular thinking even exists. Popular thinking exists because people don't want to be uncomfortable. Being uncomfortable is hard. Being comfortable is easy. It is easy to take a nap. It is difficult to run around the block. Alright? And popular thinking, so if you take something that's very commonly known amongst society and you just follow along with it without investigating into it, it's because you're too lazy to think of the actual solution. You're too scared to jump out of your comfort zone. So you just do what's comfortable, what's familiar. What's familiar? What everyone has been telling you already. So everyone wants to be better. Even the people who are great want to be better. Even the people who are great want to be better, which requires them to change, which requires you to be uncomfortable. So, how can we push ourselves to be uncomfortable and change every single day? Well, you have to prepare yourself both physically and mentally in order to deal with the uncomfortable. For example, going to the gym every single day is uncomfortable. It is hard. Lifting up a weight is not comforting. It's hard. It's exhausting, right? For some people, for me too, contrast showers or cold showers are uncomfortable, right? It's so cold. It hurts. It's uncomfortable. Sometimes training, sometimes practicing is uncomfortable. But these are the most important times in your training. That moment when you're training for something and you're ready to give up because it's become too difficult, too challenging, is the most important time for you to not give up, for you to not stop, for you to keep going, because that is when most people stop. And you don't want to be like most people. You don't want to think like the popular think. You want to think like a unique individual, which is difficult and uncomfortable. So, very simple way to train yourself to be one with the uncomfortableness of life that is required. The simplest way is to simply do uncomfortable things every single day. And like any other skill, it begins to develop. And the more you begin to familiarize yourself with the art of being uncomfortable, the greater your potential becomes to grow and expand your own mindset. This whole video spawned from an idea of just reading one of John Maxwell's book here in the backyard. And he dedicates a whole chapter to unpopular thinking. And this was a decent chapter, but the part that stuck out the most to me was this part where he said, get used to the uncomfortable. So powerful, I had to make this video about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you learn to push to your limits, test your limits, and find out how uncomfortable you can make yourself.